This is my review of the Polar Monkeys ChillX Chiller, coming in at around $5,000. This is perhaps the most expensive chiller I have ever seen. Is it worth it? Spoiler alert, absolutely not. Let's see why. So first of all, this is an all-in-one. Now, the beauty of an all-in-one is that Polar Monkeys can market it as no plumbing required, plug and play. And that's great for marketing and it's great for profits, but it is bad for you, the consumer. Because the truth is, all cold plunges, with a few exceptions, are basically comprised of a chiller, a pump, and a filter. And there's really no getting around that. So what an all-in-one chiller like the ChillX is it's a pump, chiller, and filter. The only catch is that it's all housed under one casing. And that really actually sucks, because if just one of the components inside the casing breaks or leaks, that means that the whole thing is ruined and you're out $5,000. And trust me, with cold plunges and chillers, you're dealing with flowing, moving water. And keep in mind, this chiller is meant to be left on 24/7, which is a good thing. But when something is meant to be left on 24/7, 365, it is more than likely something at some point will break. And of course, if it breaks, you won't be able to access it because everything is comprised in the housing. So companies absolutely love selling these all-in-one chillers because they can basically just drop ship them from China, and they don't actually have to do any real manufacturing or putting anything together in their warehouse. Basically, they just get to store them in the warehouse, and then when someone is unfortunate to actually buy one of these, they just ship them out. Now, obviously, I haven't gotten my hands on one of these chillers, but they did send one to David Mouse Jr. Unfortunately, he can't really say anything bad about it because, he's an affiliate with them. But fortunately, I am not. And, somehow he has this 17-minute video reviewing this chiller, but doesn't really talk anything about it other than the fact that it's in a cool metal case. And yeah, this chiller does have a cool metal case. But who gives a? Because what he's not telling you is that so many all-in-one chillers from so many different companies inevitably has issues. Why, you may ask? Because inside of these all-in-one chillers are very cheap, crappy parts. For example, one question you might ask is that while this chiller does have ozone, what kind of ozone does it have? And how is that ozone being administered? Because the truth about ozone machines is that they don't last very long. Most ozone machines are only rated for about a year to 3 years, and then they need to be replaced, which is totally normal. With most cold plunge systems, swapping out the ozone when it naturally stops working is very, very simple. But with an all-in-one system like this, who knows? And the best part about Polar Monkeys selling a chiller with ozone is that if the ozone stops working, the average person won't even know because ozone is just a gas. And it's very, very difficult to monitor it. And of course, as an ice bath reviewer myself, and not just to pick on David here, but none of us are actually testing these chillers over long periods of time. So quite frankly, you are better off buying something that isn't all-in-one because you are able to actually fix it. And finally, one more reason why you should not buy this chiller. So like I said, all ice baths have 3 parts: the chiller, the pump, and the filter. Now the pump is the most important aspect of the system. The pump is what pushes the water through the system, and it needs to be constantly working 24/7, 365. And almost 99% of the issues that arise with cold plunges, the problem is coming from the pump. So it is important that you get a really, really good pump. Now, you'd think that a $5,000 chiller would have some incredible pump, right? Well, David here does fortunately show us a little peek at the inside, and we can see, I believe, that this is the pump right there. And of course, this is incredibly small. Now, to put things in perspective, this is the Danner pump, and this is probably the most popular and robust pump on the cold plunge market. This thing weighs 10 pounds. It's an absolute tank. And this pump is literally like twice the size of that baby pump that we are seeing right there. So to recap, they say that this chiller has ozone. We have no idea what kind of ozone or how it's being used, and they are using an undersized pump. I guess the one good thing about this chiller that it has going for it is that it does make ice, which is pretty cool. But for $5,000 just for the chiller, you're basically looking at close to $10,000 for the whole system. You can get like a Morosco Forge, which in my opinion is the best cold plunge on the market. And if you do buy this chiller, you clearly don't care about money. So just send me some so that I can stop doing cold plunge reviews like this and sit on a beach somewhere. And lastly, if you are on the Polar Monkeys team and you hate this review, as you might, you have an open invitation to come on my podcast, the Cold Plunge Podcast, and you can tell me and the world why your $5,000 chiller is actually worth the price.